So then there's this. DOJ arrests New Jersey Democrat for mail-in ballot fraud. A team of people was paid to cast ballots in the names of individuals who told authorities they did not vote. Oh boy. I love this one. You get all these woke corporate journalists being like, Tim Pool is pushing the fraud narrative for reporting on legitimate news that people have been arrested for committing fraud. I am not saying this man has swung an election, but I do think it's fair to say this is just the tip of the iceberg. We don't know how far this goes. How are we supposed to track how many of these ballots are illegal and how many people are running these organizations or operations? Here's the story from scnr.com. A former city official in New Jersey has been arrested and charged in connection with an alleged mail-in ballot fraud scheme leading up to the 2022 election. Federal authorities arrested and charged Craig Calloway, a 64-year-old Democrat and former Atlantic City Council president, accusing him of running an illegal operation that offered to pay numerous individuals to act as messengers for voters who supposedly wanted to vote by mail. After receiving vote-by-mail applications from Calloway or his team, the messengers took multiple applications to the Atlantic County Clerk's office and presented proof of the requester's identification along with the signed application. If approved, the messengers were handed mail-in ballots for the voters listed on the applications. Under New Jersey law, any messenger is required to deliver a mail-in ballot they received directly to the voter who requested it. However, these messengers handed the ballots to Calloway or his subordinates. New Jersey is a crooked city. Absolutely crooked city. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up this story. A new election was ordered by a judge because of voter fraud. 2020. Take a look at this. This is massive news. And they claimed that I was lying. They claimed that I was pushing disinformation by reporting on facts. Judge orders new election in New Jersey race. Trump cited for mail-in voter fraud. Take a look at this. A New Jersey judge on Wednesday ordered a new election from 2020 for a Patterson City Council seat whose apparent winner has been charged with voter fraud. State Superior Court Judge Ernest Capicella ruled Wednesday that the new election will be held in November, blah, blah, blah. I don't even think this is the only story. They discounted 800 ballots in June. Mendez and Patterson Council Vice President were charged with voter fraud. Officials also charged two other men, blah, blah, blah. Trump seized on the case and said, hey, look at this. I don't even think this is the only case. I think Jersey's got a bunch of these stories. I'm going to say, many of the mail-in ballots his team collected were cast in the names of people who confirmed to authorities they neither voted in the 2020 election, in person or by mail, nor authorized anyone else to cast a ballot on their behalf. Now, hold on there a gosh darn minute. How many stories have we heard? I think, didn't Marjorie Taylor Greene say this? Like, that her husband went to vote and that he was listed as already having voted? Maybe it wasn't her. But there were so many stories where people were like, I went in to vote and they said, you already voted, sir. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And they're like, well, then we'll give you a provisional ballot. How does that happen? What was probably happening is that people like this were taking mail-in ballots, filling them out and voting. I don't know. To what degree? I don't know. To what scale? I don't know. But we do know it happened because this guy's been charged already. To be fair, innocent until proven guilty. But there are already been many stories about this. If Republicans do not get on top of this right now, y'all are in trouble. I don't know what to tell you because I don't expect the feds to actually go after everybody who's doing this. It's going to require, look, I got to tell you, in every swing state, you better be ramping up every imaginable lawsuit. Here's what you need. You need James O'Keefe. James, we need you now more than ever. What we need is an army of independent and citizen journalists to try and figure out, to investigate and find the people who are breaking the law in this way. Legally, don't do anything stupid or crazy, and always confer with the experts and the legal authorities in the proper way of doing things. I don't want anyone to do anything stupid. I'm saying we need accountability. We need to figure out who's engaged in this and how do we do that? Honestly, I don't know, but investigative reporting. Quote, holding free and fair elections. Oh, you know what? I just absolutely despise free and fair. Don't say it. It's fake. It's meaningless. Holding free and fair elections is a bedrock principle of our democracy. As alleged in the complaint, the defendant attempted to deprive New Jersey residents of a fair election by fraudulently procuring and casting ballots. Today's charges reflect our office's commitment to hold to account those who try to undermine the electoral process. U.S. Attorney Philip Selinger said in a statement about the arrest. We'll pull that one up. What does free and fair mean? Honest question. What is a free election? Like cost-wise? I don't understand what that means. They keep saying this buzzword, free and fair. What does that mean? Like, I honestly have no idea what it's supposed to mean. Elections are when people cast their ballot. They keep saying that 'cause it's a buzzword. District of New Jersey, U.S. Attorney's Office. Look, I'm glad they arrested the guy, okay? Prove he's guilty now, and I'll be even happier. If he's not guilty, then I'm mad. I shouldn't say I'm mad. Innocent until proven guilty, but someone accused of a crime with probable cause or evidence should be arrested. Holding free and fair elections, blah, blah, blah. He goes on to say, voter fraud at any level chips away at the faith people have in the system. FBI Newark Special Agent in charge, James E. Denny, he said, we are unable as American citizens to hold our government accountable if our votes are compromised. The FBI and our law enforcement partners understand the gravity of protecting the process and will bring those criminals who break the law to justice. You know what I find laughable about this? I think it just goes to show. There's another story about a special, what is it, a security? Let me find this one. I didn't have this one pulled up. But let's see. Here we go. State Department security officer arrested on January 6th charges. This story's wild. A security officer contracted by the State Department was in the Capitol on January 6th taking pictures of people who are entering the building. Seems like he was working security. They've charged him. You know what I see in all this? Do I really believe this guy was just, as a Democrat, was not working with someone in government? Who came to him and wanted him to do this? He did it of his own goodwill. That I'm going to help the Democrats win just because I want them to? Nah. Money's got to come from somewhere. Operations got to come from somewhere. You know what I think with these stories? I think when the feds knock on your door, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, Mr. Smith, how would you like to help your country? And you're going to be like, I mean, sure. What do you need me to do? And they'd say, we need your help in finding, insert whatever. And you go, okay, I can help you with that. And they go, so here's what we're going to do. You come with us in the morning. We're going to drive to a location where you can complete this task, which will really help us out. And you go, oh, okay, I guess. And then when you show up in the morning, they raid your vehicle, arrest you, and say, we got him. Here he is. He was planning it the whole time. You guys ever see that movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg? That's basically it. So the government comes to his house, government agents. They come to his house. He lives in the middle of the woods with his dog. He's one of the best snipers in the world. And they say, we got a problem. We got intelligence that someone's planning to make a move to assassinate a politician. We need your expertise to figure out how they intend to do it. And he's like, not interested. And they're like, look, you'll be compensated. You'll serve a country. We'll leave you alone. And he goes, okay, fine. Awesome movie, by the way. You should definitely watch it. And so he goes to the spot where the speech is supposed to be. And they're like, where do you think it might take place? And he's like, you've got a bunch of points here with the wind and the light. It could happen anywhere. And they're like, why don't we set up an operation in one of these buildings so that you can help us during this event to make sure we can spot the guy before it happens. I'm like, you got it. So they go up. They're in this room. Mark Wahlberg's got binoculars and he's like, so far, so good. And then all of a sudden, there's like this fat cop who walks up and he's like, how's it going? He's like, whatever. Then there's a bang. A foreign diplomat is assassinated. And he's like, from up there. He turns around and the fat cop shoots him, shoots Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg falls out the window. That fat cop then goes on TV and says, I saw him through the window and he did it. Here's the point. They asked him for help. And when he showed up to help them, the whole point of it was to frame him for it. I am not suggesting that there was a grandiose conspiracy here. I'm just saying it's kind of weird that a State Department security officer is contracted and then he starts filming the people entering and exiting the building as if collecting evidence. And then they criminally charge him and say, no, he's a rioter. They will throw you under the bus in 2 seconds. You should really go watch that movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. It's a fun movie. I think it's basically like based around the conspiracy theory of JFK. Like the idea is that they set him up or something, but it's fun. It's fun. I'll put it this way. I don't know that the DA, the USDA or the feds or anyway are working with this guy. in Jersey. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think he's the top. And if we don't solve this and figure out how to stop this stuff, we're in trouble. But it's fairly obvious now. It is a fact. Universal mail-in voting has opened the door for very serious voter fraud. And we have the arrest right here. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.